Hi, I'm Norman Goldman. Thanks for being with me on the video version of the Norman Goldman Show. Now, on the radio, we typically talk law and civics, but I have become known as somebody who rescues animals and advocates for rescuing animals. So let's spend a moment talking about dogs and cats and birds and lizards and rabbits. I mean, there's lots and lots of animals needing rescuing. I guess the typical thing that people have in their minds is you get a puppy or you get a kitten as soon as they're ready to leave their mother's side, and you keep them forever and everything is great and it's just like a TV show. Now that's nice when it happens, and it's happened, a lot of times, but it doesn't always happen. I came across a situation not long ago where two older people had a dog for a very long time, and then sadly these two older people died very shortly in time next to each other, and their dog was 11 years old, and the 11-year-old dog needed a new home. These things happen. Dogs and cats are known to run away. We recently had an economic crash. The economy just melted down, and people were getting kicked out of their homes left and right. They couldn't afford to keep their animals. They didn't have room to keep their animals. A lot of people, they lost their jobs. They ran out of money, and keeping a pet can get expensive. Veterinary bills can get expensive. Food isn't cheap. So there are, sadly, millions of dogs and cats and birds and lizards and snakes and rabbits and guinea pigs. I mean, there's just all these animals out there that need rescuing. My wife and I have rescued lots of older animals, and they're really the hardest to rescue because, animals don't live nearly as long as we'd like them to. So you rescue them, you fall in love with them, and then they die, and it's very heartbreaking. But one thing that I learned was it's not about us. It's really about them. I mean, when we rescued our first older dog, we came upon this dog who was in obvious distress. She was an older basset hound, and she was a mess. This poor dog was very stressed out. She was running around frantic. You could see it. And my wife said, we got to take this dog. And I said to myself, I didn't say to my wife, but I said to myself, this is an older dog. I'm going to fall in love with her. Then she's going to die, and my heart's going to be broken. After a few seconds of thinking about it, the voice in the back of my head said, "Hey, Norm, you're an idiot. It's about the dog. It's called a rescue. It's not about you, son." And so I thought about it some more, and I said to my wife, "Okay, we'll take the dog." And she was a great dog. We had her for 5 years, and then she died. She wanted to be in a family again. She'd been with a family, and they just ran out of money, and they dumped her. And she was just a wonderful domesticated dog. That started us on rescuing lots of older animals, and there's tons of older animals, and people don't want them for that reason. They don't realize it's about the dog and not about them. I'm not judgmental. I had the same thought. It took me a while to think it through. Let me suggest to you that if you are interested in rescuing an animal, consider a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old. There are a lot of advantages to this. Yes, they're not cute as a puppy. They're not cute as a kitten. I'll grant you that. But puppies and kittens are a lot of work, especially puppies. You gotta train them. They poop around the house. They pee all over the house. They'll chew up all your shoes. I mean, they got a tremendous amount of energy. Rescuing a grown-up dog, chances are that they're already house trained. They've gotten control of their bodily functions. They're a bit calmer. And something about these animals, I don't know what it is, but they seem to recognize that they were in bad circumstances and that you rescued them. They're very grateful. I mean, it's really hard for me to put my finger on it, but I've noticed, because we've rescued lots of animals over the years, that they really do understand that you rescued them, and there really is an extra measure of gratefulness. I really can't quite explain it, but you'll know it when you see it. And you've done a really good thing, and you'll be a role model for other people, and then you can advocate on behalf of rescuing animals, and it just becomes a viral kind of thing. Please consider that you can get any kind of dog or cat you want. If you want a golden retriever, there's plenty of golden retrievers that need rescuing. If you want a Labrador retriever, plenty of labs needing rescuing. You want a St. Bernard, there are St. Bernards. And, it's the same thing for cats. There's just many of them that need rescuing. Go down to your local shelter. You can get them cheap. They need a home. Do the right thing. Don't buy animals. Thanks for being with me on the video version of the Norman Goldman Show.